Old City Vapors, back to do another review. I did a review, the last one was Soulcards 1. So this one is Soulcards 2. Have both decks. There's Soulcards 1 and Soulcards 2. Again, this deck is designed by Deborah Koff Chapin. And if you saw the first video on Soulcards 1, I talked a little bit about how they were done, designed with touch drawing and what that is. Basically, a fancy form of finger painting in a way. Even though these images look like a painting, traditional painting, like done with, sketch and brush and paint and stuff like that, they're not. If you haven't checked out what touch drawing is, go to her website, soulcards.com or touchpainting.com, I believe, excuse me, and check it out. It's pretty interesting. So anyways, let's get on about Soulcards 2. If you haven't seen the first video, check it out. This one's kind of the follow-up to that on the second deck. I hear there is a third deck coming out, hopefully this year, maybe next. I don't know. If there is, I'll get it. Front of the box, back of the box. Tells you a little bit about the cards, has a picture of the images of the cards. And like I say, this deck is kind of unique in its own way. Designed by touch drawing, touch painting, touch drawing. And there's a guidebook. And it has no meaning of the cards. So this deck's totally like an intuitive, what your soul feels when you see the image, what your mind, your heart tells you. That's how you read this deck. There's a guidebook. It's about 36 pages. It tells you how to use the cards, but doesn't tell you what the images mean on the cards. There's no description of the images. It all depends on what's in your head and what you see and what you feel. And that's kind of cool. That's unique. That's why I wanted to get this deck, for that reason. I've had some pretty strange readings and stuff with these cards so far. So the box itself, let's open it and take a look. The box, for the people that like a sturdy, rugged, hard box, this ain't it. I know that's some people have an issue with that. This box itself, kind of flimsy. It is kind of unique and cool that it does have a frame right here. And if you want to, pull a card out and put it in, it does serve as a little frame, which is kind of cool. The cards themselves are in this little insert. Nothing fancy, just a cardboard insert. And then the deck of cards is in this little box. Again, it's kind of a flimsy box. If it had a little Velcro button right here, it would stay closed. That would be a cool little thing to add, just one little dot of Velcro. You can do that yourself. No big deal there. But again, for the people that like a hardcore, sturdy box, this ain't it. So, man, every time I got to get that ding in here. Here's the guidebook for Soulcards 2. Like I said, it's pretty much the same guidebook as Soulcards 1, 36 pages. Doesn't give you information on the meaning of the cards. Does give you some insightful information on how to use the cards. Music, one-on-one, moment, dream interpretation, visualization, written or verbal, silent contemplation, combined reflection and divination. Gives you, you can do one card pulls, you can do 3, you can do 5. There's some different layouts in here. That's what's cool about this deck is you can use it many different ways and even make up your own ways to use the deck. If you saw the first Soulcard 1 review that I did, you'll notice that this particular deck, there are different versions of this deck depending on what year they came out. And again, these cards came out, and the original Soulcard 1 came out in 1995. Old cards, you may say, but they're kind of a timeless type of card. The images on these cards are pretty much right up to date. 25 years from now, they'll still be current. So that's what's cool about this deck is even though they've been around for a long time, they're a cool deck. If you didn't know it, you would think they were brand new. So there's the cards themselves. The back of these cards, kind of a maroonish color with the kind of spacey looking background. The other cards were more of like a darker kind of navy blue with the same type pattern. Also like a touch drawing pattern. Quick rundown of touch drawing. It's basically a big inked blotter, perhaps. The way Deborah does it is she lays down a piece of paper on that inked blotter and then draws with her hands, her fingers, her fingernails, and whatnot. And when you pull the paper up, the image is on the back side of it. So that's what's unique about touch drawing. So let's go down low, up close and personal, and take a look at Soulcards 2. I'll do a quick flip through. It's going to be real quick, so the video won't take forever. But I'll show you the images on these. Pretty much you can use this deck along with Soulcards 1. You can combine them, make a deck of 120 cards. You can use them individually. You can use them however you want. There's no limitations on how you can use these cards. So that's pretty cool. So let's go down low, up close and personal. Take a look at Soulcards 2. All right, here we go with Soulcards 2. Again, here's the deck. They're roughly 3.5 by 5 inches in size. The cards themselves, they're pretty sturdy. They're a thin card, but I don't know. I don't mind the card stock on these. They're not edged. They're just white edged, and a lot of people like to edge them with black or whatever. That's totally up to you. You can do it, or you can leave them the way they are. But let's do a quick flip through of Soulcards 2. I'm going to go kind of fast in this, so you can see the images. If you want to take a look at one, just hit the pause button. That's a strange one right there. How would you interpret that? Really cool images in this. That right there is could have several meanings to me. Kind of looks like seahorses too. I like that image. That's a cool image. And that is that a sun or is it a moon? Kind of looks like a moon to me. I don't know. Guy looking up to the moon there, like, yeah. Contemplating. Very interesting image right there. Kind of alien looking in a way. So if you like these images, like I say, you can stop the video, pause it if you want to look at them just a little bit longer. But if you have this deck, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think of them. Or, if you're thinking about getting them, or just leave a comment in general. Tell me what you think of Soulcards 1 and 2. That one's Native American looking to me. Very cool image. So yeah, it's amazing. Once you see how these images are actually drawn, it's a pretty cool process, the way Deborah does these. And again, these cards first deck was produced in 1995. Second deck was done 5 years later in 2000, another 60 card deck. And she has thousands of images that she's done. These first two decks are the 120 images that she picked out specifically for these deck of cards. And there you go. That is the image that is on the front of Soulcards 2, the box. So there's the images for Soulcards 2. We'll go ahead and leave that one right there since it's the image on the box. Like I say, if you haven't checked them out and you're kind of intrigued by a deck that's totally intuitive, totally up to you how to read it, many different uses. You can use them with kids, you can use them with adults, one-on-one, with couples, groups. You can do all kinds of readings with these. Like I say, again, you can pull 1 card, 3 cards, 5 cards, 7 cards, however you want to do. You can also use them. A lot of people use them in conjunction with another deck, say a tarot deck or another oracle type deck or something, as like an enhancement type card or something like that. Many different ways to use these cards. So there you go. There you have it. A quick flip through of Soulcards 2. Check out the first video on Soulcards 1 and let me know what you think of Soulcards. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.